In this episode, Indianapolis 500, Formula One Monaco Grand Prix, and the Nurburgring 24h. Welcome to episode 72 of the We Are Auto Show. How are you, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rell, this past weekend, there was a day off for most people who have a day off. Did you get a day off?
No.
Oof.
I don't get the days off. Are you kidding me? I'm never not working.
You were teaching people how to drive?
Oh, from pretty much the sun up to sundown, yeah.
Well, I imagine you did not get much time to watch any motorsports.
Unfortunately, I did not, which is a bummer.
There was some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start it off with the Indianapolis 500.
Indy.
Did you get to see any of the Indy 500?
I got to see the highlights of the Indy 500.
Hey, that's all you needed to see. Because Indy is kind of entertaining and kind of boring at the same time.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question, and I need you to be really honest with me. Is the Indy 500 actually any more exciting than a NASCAR race?
It's exactly as exciting. You watch the last 5 laps. Until then,
You're just driving around in circles.
You are, but at least at Indy, you're going
Faster.
220 to 230, 240 going into corners. Like, it's crazy what they're doing. The G-forces, the impacts that they have when they crash these cars are insane.
They're big.
Yeah, they're huge. And it takes some cojones to drive these cars flat through these corners.
No doubt.
They're very twitchy. Once you slide out of the groove, is what they call it, the section of track that doesn't have any marbles or debris in it, you're into the wall. There's nothing you can do. You're gone. Yeah. You're toast. And when passes do happen, they have to be very coordinated with the other driver because you can't go effectively too wide through the Indy corners.
Yeah.
You just let them go and you swap the position and you're like, that's fine. We didn't die. It's okay.
we didn't die.
Yeah.
Good mindset.
Overall, the race was okay. Going into it, though, we had the favorites, which were the Chip Ganassi team. They had 5 cars going into this event.
I'm sorry. What?
5. They brought 5 cars. Let me name off some drivers for you.
That's a lot of cars.
Okay. Let's start with Alex Palou. I'm sure you've heard that name. Very good Indy.
Stud.
Tony Kanaan.
No, stud.
Mm-hmm. Scott Dixon.
Stud.
So far, we're 3 for 3. Jimmy Johnson.
Kind of a stud.
Kind of, but I think it's technically his first time doing this race, so I wouldn't really call him a stud at the Indy 500. It takes some finesse to win this race.
Yes.
And then Marcus Ericsson.
Do you know who Marcus Ericsson is?
I think he raced F1 for a bit.
He did.
Where?
He was with the Alfa Romeo team, so Sauber. He was with Sauber for a few years, 2014 to 18, 19-ish.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
And then he kind of disappeared.
And then he went to Indy?
Seems like it.
And then another F1 driver, Romain Grosjean, was in the race, right?
Yeah. And Romain Grosjean this year has had pretty good luck in Indy.
He has. He had his big fiery crash that basically was the end of him in F1, where the fuel tank ruptured, the car split in half. He was wedged in the barrier.
Yep.
It's pretty bad. It was pretty darn bad. But over at Indy, he's been doing pretty good. Unfortunately for him and Mr. Jimmy Johnson, they both crashed in the Indy 500.
Bummer.
Yeah, not great. And any crash in the Indy 500 is a big incident.
You're going 200 plus miles an hour.
Right.
It's big.
Nobody was super injured in any of the accidents, but everybody gets knocked around.
It's good. No big injuries.
Yeah. Yep. I did see near the end of the race, there was a lot of weaving happening along the straightaways to break the draft. Found that kind of odd.
Yeah, it was funny to watch the highlights because watching them just snaking, and it looked like, honestly, you remember playing that old computer game Snake? Where you have to like collect the little things and your snake would grow longer and longer. It just looked like that.
Yeah. The whole pack every one of them was just weaving across the start finish.
Yep.
And interestingly enough, Marcus Ericsson was the one leading the pack. And he's the one that took the checkered flag at the end of the race.
He's the one that you don't expect to win of all the Ganassi cars.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of Ganassi drivers that are Alex Palou, Scott Dixon, big name Indy drivers that you would kind of expect
Tony
to be.
Kanaan? Like, what?
Right?
Crazy. So Marcus Ericsson takes the win over Patrick Award and Tony Kanaan. Kind of interesting. Marcus Ericsson is a
Award
Swede.
taking a number 2. I do like that, though.
I do too. That's cool. Tony Kanaan, I kind of expect him to win the race, honestly. Third place is not good enough for him, considering he's won that race many times.
Yep.
The actual race did end under caution. Somebody spun out kind of way back in the pack, and that ended up putting it under caution. They were, I think, 5 laps to the end when somebody crashed. They went red. Controversially, they went red to try to get a green flag ending to a race. Nobody wants to see a caution ending a race.
It's so boring.
Right. I'm not a huge fan of that at all. But overall, they got halfway through the final lap, and then somebody crashed, and they had to technically end it under caution.
Yeah.
I think in NASCAR, if someone crashes on the white flag lap, the final lap, and it is not in front of the leaders, they will let the race finish under green flag.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Can be dangerous, I guess, if you're
Depends
in the back
where
of
on
the field.
the track.
Right. But if they deem that it's still safe for the lead, I like them allowing the race to finish. I think that's really cool. And I wish Indy would have done that here.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's kind of lame to see somebody win under yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
Overall, a pretty good race. Still not a huge fan of the Indy 500. It's dangerous. Somebody's going to get seriously injured at the speeds these guys are going.
I like the danger aspect.
Do you?
Highway to the danger zone.
Yeah.
Of course, right? But, I mean, motor racing is a dangerous sport, right? There's the adrenaline, the thrill of it. Some danger is fine.
But what was it, 3-4 years ago, when who was it that went into the fence at Phoenix and died in an IndyCar?
I don't remember.
It was somebody local to us here in St. Pete too.
Really?
Dan Weldon. That's who it was.
Oh.
Yeah, because they named the street Weldon Way down where the St. Pete Grand Prix is. He was a victim of high speed cornering at an oval in an IndyCar, and the car went in the top of the car, so essentially head first into the fencing, and you don't survive that. They're trying to do more with safety in IndyCar. The reason that they have the halo is kind of the Dan Weldon incident, but it's still somebody's gonna do something that's gonna put them into the wall, and those G-forces they're gonna kill somebody, and they're gonna have to rethink the race again, and it won't be the first time. And I don't want to see it, but it's only a matter of time watching how fast these guys go.
Fair point. I mean, I don't want to see anyone killed or severely injured.
No, nobody does.
But there is that driving on the edge of danger that is exciting.
And the drivers know that. They know that going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have the understanding that this could potentially be my last race.
For sure.
It was the Indy 500. There was kissing of the bricks.
Yes. Kissing of the bricks. Milk was drank and poured.
Indeed. And a Swede, Marcus Ericsson, took the win.
Ah, yes.
Would not have guessed it going in.
Do you think he drove home in a sob?
No. I think he got like a Camaro or something.
Something, I'm sure.
Yeah, some Indy car. Indianapolis liveried Camaro. Whoever wanted to sponsor it.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So I think that wraps up Indy. Did you happen to see some other good racing going on?
Some more highlights of some good racing.
The Sunday that is the Memorial Day weekend is always great because you get to wake up, watch the Monaco Grand Prix in the morning, the F1 cars, And then right after that, you just change the channel over to the Indy 500. And they start and end within an hour. It's fantastic.
It's a good day for motor racing.
It is a good day for motor racing. So let's talk about some F1.
Okay.
They were at Monaco,
Ooh.
the infamous track along the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Famous for the swimming pool, all the babes. The Monaco country itself is like tiny, and somehow they wedge an F1 circuit in there and actually have a legitimate F1 race.
It's worth a lot of money.
A ton of money, and you'll see all the fancy people coming out. And in this race, if your car crashes, you end up actually getting craned out.
Yeah.
Because the track is so tight and so narrow and so wrapped around all these buildings that they don't put tow trucks down there. They just get a crane and lift the car out.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
It's pretty wild.
A pretty legendary race.
Yeah. I'd love to go to one.
I would. Who wouldn't love to go to Monaco? It'd be awesome.
So cool.
All the boats along the edge, not fake water, real yachts.
What's the best way to do Monaco? Is it to watch the race from a yacht?
No, I think that there's a hill somewhere that when I was watching them do qualifying, you could see down pit lane, and you could also see down to another portion of the track, one of the chicanes, and that was apparently one of the best vantage points. It's along the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
But would the best way to do it be stay on the yacht, but watch the race from the hill, and then when you need some refreshments and champagne and bubbly and caviar, go back to your yacht and then ferry yourself back to the hill?
I think it depends on how fancy you are.
It's Monaco, baby. It's the fanciest.
If you got the pinky out, stay on the yacht.
Pinky's out, baby.
Yeah. But if you're hanging out, ready to camp, get on the forest and actually watch the event. Because from the yacht, I don't think you're really watching the cars. You're there for the experience.
You're drunk.
Yeah, but something to be said about that. It's Monaco, baby. Do what you want. All right, so the Monaco Grand Prix started under red flag conditions this year, which is very odd. They had a Florida-level downpour as the cars were basically going around to the grid to get ready to go.
Let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Thinking back in my memory of watching the Monaco Grand Prix, have you ever seen it like start under red flag, like downpour conditions there?
I can't say I've ever seen rain at Monaco.
I've only ever seen sunshine at Monaco.
Right.
I didn't know Monaco got rain.
I guess it did.
Like, I didn't know the country got rained on.
Not only that, but look at this photo.
Holy shit.
It was proper rain.
That is, like you said, that is proper Florida level downpour.
It was not messing about, which made for an interesting start. Because everybody got thrown onto wets, and all that practice and quality that you had been doing, all the setup you put on your car.
The picture you just scrolled to.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You can crumble up any testing and practice that you did, put it in the trash.
Scrap it.
Get ready. Because your lap time is about to be 20 seconds slower than it was in practice.
Completely.
And everybody's was, which is fine. It's entertaining to watch. Mm-hmm. Now, traditionally, and still, Monaco is well known for not being a good track for passing. Mm-hmm. This was no exception, except for the beginning where we had the rain. Mm-hmm. Then it was an exception because you would get the situation where some cars would be on full wets, some would be on inters, and the track starts drying and strategy comes into play, and you'll get passing from somebody who's pushing the limit, right?
You know, it's funny. As a race fan, that strategy of who goes to inters first, who stays on wets, who takes the gamble and goes full dries, that is some of the most exciting as a race fan to watch.
Yes, it is.
And then someone's going to take the gamble and go, I'm going to go dries. They're going to put one tire outside the dry line. They're going to step out. And then the car that was still on inters is going to go flying past them. That is so much fun to watch. That little strategy. Who's got the balls to go dries first?
Yep. And we're talking about F1, where everybody is watching the timing screen. And right when that transition happens, where that lap time is better for the guy that's a tire ahead of you, everybody's in. instantly everybody's in.
But it takes the balls to be the first one to do it.
Oh, it does. Or you're just in the back and you're like, I don't have anything to lose. Just gamble.
And then
Let's
you go flying past people, or you stuff it.
Right. So in one of those situations where they were having the difference between wets to inters or inters to dries, Ferrari had quite the blunder. Ferrari was actually in the lead of this. Leclerc was in the lead until we got to the pit stop, where his teammate pitted in front of him, and Charles Leclerc went from first to fourth because he had to stack up behind his teammate.
I feel so bad for Leclerc.
Oof.
This is his home race. He's a Monacoian. I don't know. What do you call yourself if you live in Monaco? But
no idea.
I remember listening to the radio transmissions. Team boss calls him, says, okay, pit, box. And as soon, the very second that he dives, they go, stay out. He's like, well, shit, what do I do now? I'm completely screwed. I'm already in the pits. You can't tell me to stay out. Look ahead. I'm here.
Yeah, they were committed.
Oof.
Yep. And his teammate, I believe that it was Carlos Sainz, went straight from wets to dries. So he was trying to stay out longer. And in that transition from wets to dries, he pulled right in front of Leclerc to beat him into the pits, got basically the tires first, then Leclerc is having to wait on him in the pits. And the Red Bull pulled it off very well as well, and they didn't stack the team. They did the one lap difference from each other, which makes it so you don't have to stack up, and they took the lead.
It's so sad because it was at that very moment that Leclerc knew it's over.
Yeah.
His entire race, the very second the radio call came through to say, stay out, his race was gone.
Yep. It sucks when that happens.
Yeah, that's rough.
He went from first to fourth, and that is where, indeed, he finished. But before we get to the winners and all the rest of the finishers, there was Haas pushing a little bit too hard. I don't know if they were on inters or dries. I don't remember. But it was Mick Schumacher driving.
Oof.
And he got off into a little bit of wet stuff and lost the rear and went very hard into the wall and actually split the transmission off the engine. And the back half of the car was detached at the end of the accident.
That's a big accident.
It was one of those accidents where you see it in real time and then they pan the camera away and they show other things for a good minute.
Ooh. Because
there's a potential for a very injured or dead driver. It was one of those looking incidents.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
Right. And whenever that happens, whenever the cameras don't look back toward the accident, it's because the TV producers are like, don't show it. Until we get confirmation that the driver's okay, don't show it, which is not good. Luckily for Mick, he was okay. He actually walked away from the incident. And the cars now, ever since Romain Grosjean's crash, where the transmission punched through the barrier and got the car stuck in the barrier, they actually have the transmissions purposefully break away so that the chassis and the monocoque where the driver sits will continue down the track and not get wedged in anything.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. That's good engineering.
Right. So it was a design decision to have that break away. But from a spectator's point of view, it looks like a very scary incident.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
glad to see Mick's okay.
Mick Schumacher was okay. Both the Haas's actually did not finish. The other one had I think a mechanical failure and just retired early. Yeah.
That sucks.
But after his car got craned away, because that's what they do at Monaco, the racing got back to going. And Max Verstappen took third place.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. With Charles Leclerc taking fourth place. So the points are just all over the place.
Yep.
And that leaves the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz in second place and Sergio Perez in first place.
Checo with a win at Monaco.
Checo takes the win at Monaco.
I don't hate that.
I don't either. And I was very curious to see if Red Bull was going to try to swap them around. And they really couldn't because the Ferrari was in between them.
Good. I hope that makes up a little bit for the being told to let him pass at Spain. Right?
Yeah.
I hope that kind of clears the air.
I would have been very curious to see what Red Bull would have done had Verstappen and Leclerc not been in the order they were in. Right?
What do you think they would have done?
I don't know. I don't know.
See, we aren't behind the scenes, so we
know.
don't know what conversations were had after Spain.
But it feels to me like there's a potential they would have told him to pull over.
Yeah. I also have there's a little other bird on my shoulder saying there was probably a pretty serious conversation that was had after the last race saying,
"Oh yeah,
don't you ever do that again.
Oh,
you dirty little bastard." Such and such and such.
As there should have been. Yeah. Now, that was the finishing order. I believe that still means that Red Bull is in the lead in the points, Ferrari is second, and I think that Mercedes is third.
I was just about to say, you know who you didn't even mention?
Who?
Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
So where did they finish?
So George Russell finished fifth.
Ooh.
And then Lewis Hamilton was eighth.
Oh, Lewis Hamilton is 2 places outside of just
points.
2 places within the points.
He only got 4 points.
Gasp.
Not good.
Gasp.
Not good.
Oh.
I will say their cars looked better, but not as good as the top 2 teams right now.
Real quick, just to give a little stat here. Lewis Hamilton, in terms of the driver standings, he's got 50 points, 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
Max Verstappen, 125.
The leader.
Yep.
Woo.
And after this whole second, third Verstappen and Leclerc, or third, fourth Verstappen, Leclerc, it now puts Verstappen in the lead in the driver standings, 125 points. And really damn close behind him is Leclerc with 116. And then really damn close behind Leclerc is Sergio Perez with Red Bull with 110. So the top 3 in the driver standings, one race could really split that.
Interesting. I did not know that the other Red Bull was that close.
It is
that Sergio Perez could take the points lead.
9 points between first and second, and only 6 points between second and third.
Interesting.
15 points separates first and third.
Top 3. Yep. That's good to see. That is very good to see.
That's going to make it close.
Yep. That means that Perez versus Verstappen is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the rivalry, the inter-team rivalry, could be pretty spicy.
Perez versus Verstappen is his thing, and so is Leclerc versus Verstappen.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. All right. So that finishes out Monaco. Now, there were some rumors coming out of Monaco that there could not be a Monaco Grand Prix next year. Which kind of sucks in my opinion, but does it? Because the only reason that this race was entertaining for me was the rain situation, and had there not been rain, it feels like it would have just been everybody as is, go do your laps, take your points. Qualifying was the race.
So, here's my thought. Monaco is one of the only street circuits that I love. Now, I almost said but I love.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the history.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so historic. You can't get rid of Monaco.
I agree, but F1 follows the money.
And look at Monaco. There's a lot of money in Monaco.
I agree, but with everyone complaining about the passing, I'm sure that the views of Monaco are not what they once were, right? And all they care about is advertising eyeballs. That's the metric that they make their money off of.
True.
So if they can hype up a F1 race in America, in Vegas, for example, over Monaco, if there's more advertising eyeballs, that's what they'll do.
I don't want them to get rid of Monaco.
I don't either.
I really don't. It's like the only street circuit that I've always liked to watch. Cars going through Rascasse and all. It's just
It's a magical circuit, no doubt.
There's definitely something about Monaco. The hills, the money, the yachts, the wealth, the speed, the sounds going through the tunnel.
The swimming pool.
The swimming pool. Yes. The famous Daniel Ricciardo swimming pool.
I agree. It's awesome. It's a fantastic circuit.
They can't get rid of Monaco.
They just need to figure out how to get these cars to pass on this circuit because they're going to lose people watching it. And if they lose people watching it, it's no more. And there's no way that the circuit that they're going to build in Vegas is going to be anywhere comparable to this.
No.
But will it give you more advertising eyeballs? Is there more money involved in Vegas than Monaco? There's kind of an argument to be made there. There might be. There actually might be.
I wish I didn't have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to lose Monaco.
We'll see. It's only rumors at the moment, but there is going to be a race that gets kicked off the calendar for the third American race, which why are there 3 American races? And why is one of them Miami? Another debate to be had.
I'm with you.
I hope it's not Monaco, but we shall see.
Yes.
All right. That wraps up all the F1 news.
Okay.
There was one more race.
All right.
Probably my favorite race.
Which one?
Of the 3. There was the Nurburgring 24-hour endurance race.
Baby. Love the Nurburgring 24.
This is the craziest race of all the races. There's no doubt.
For
this
sure.
is an insane race. 24 hours at the Green Hill.
Uh-huh.
You and me know that the Green Hill, we have watched Sebring. I've been to the Rolex 24. But this race is way different.
It's a whole nother level.
It's another level of everything. There are 135 cars that start this race.
That's a lot of damn cars.
The track is close to 15 miles for a lap. It's insane.
It's huge.
Because they do the whole the whole Nordschleife, which is the classic Nürburgring, the long circuit. And then they do the Grand Prix track as well. Mm-hmm. And it's all wrapped up into one lap. 135 cars. Top 40 cars get a blue blinking light that signify that they're the top 40 cars. And this race is complete chaos. I don't remember how many different classes there are. I think it's over 10.
There's a lot of classes.
It's insane.
There's a
SP9
massive amount of classes.
SP9 is what they call the top class. It's your classic GT3 spec cars. Mm-hmm. And they are just magical to watch sprint through in and out of everything at this track.
Yeah. This is, yeah.
Something very cool that they do that's unique at the Nürburgring is that fans get onto the track right along the edge of the asphalt of the track. They're over the barriers of the walls when they're doing their warm-up lap.
That's so cool.
And you can see it in this image. Cool. Yeah. They're actually on the grass right next to the track as all the cars come through.
That is really cool.
It's amazing. And I actually
wish we
wish
could do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that you can do this because the cars will come back like 10 minutes later, which is plenty of time to shuffle everybody off back into the campsites.
Because of how long the lap is, it's not like a sub 2 minute lap where when they're green, you could still have some lingering people.
Right. You could not do this at Sebring or Daytona or any other American circuit because there's not enough time to get everybody shuffled back. But it's a really cool tradition. Now, this race overall is complete chaos because there's 135 cars, because the speed differential between the top class cars and the slower cars is 50 to 70 mile per hour differens.
They've got
it's nuts.
They've got Porsche GT3Rs. They've got literally the M4 GT3 spec cars racing against a Dacia Sandero.
Oh, a bazillion BMW 35is.
GTIs.
Yeah.
Just like everything.
It's insane.
So cool. Supra. That's a Supra. That's a GT4 and a GT3 spec car going together.
Yeah. Yep. Just cruising. With 135 cars, you times that by 4 to 5. That's the number of drivers that you have. So it's probably coming on. It's way over 500 drivers.
It's a staggeringly big event.
Yes. It's
just huge. An STI.
And when it's nighttime at this track, there are no track lights.
Correct.
It is just pitch black. It's you
And
in
cars
the green
fly.
hell at night.
I love those pictures of the cars flying like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a cool race.
And the reason that they have the blue flashing lights is so that you know if you are a slower driver and you see a blue flashing light at nighttime, get out of the way. Because it's the top 40 fastest
You're going to get
cars.
run over.
Yeah, you're going to die. Move. That is the equivalent of I have a blue flag with the yellow stripe in my hand, and I'm bringing it around the entire circuit. Move over.
Yes,
for
peasant.
me now. Yes.
Peasant, get out of my way.
So this race did shape up to be a battle of brothers at one point. Mm-hmm. There were the Vanthors. Who are the two?
Lawrence in a Porsche.
Yeah.
And Dries in an Audi.
That's right. And Lawrence was in the Grello Porsche.
Love that car.
Which is the neon. I'll try to find. Yeah, here's a photo of it.
Lots of pictures of the Grello.
Yeah, the neon Porsche, which is the one that won, I believe, last year. Mm-hmm. And his brother is right behind him.
Yep.
And those two got into an incident, a big incident.
Big on one side for sure.
The Grello Porsche got put into the wall by
Hard.
the Audi. Hard. Very hard. And the Grello Porsche was crashed out fairly early in the event.
It was a big crash, too. It wasn't just like a kind of crash. It was a massive accident.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunate for them, but that did shape us up to get a Mercedes Audi run to the flag, which was pretty cool. But before we talk about that, the KTM X Bow GTX, which I think is what it's called, ended up crashing, ended up catching on fire. The driver got out, reasonably so, but they were on a hill, and he parked the car in a scenario where when he got out and he took his foot off the brakes, the car rolled down the hill, not like tumbled down, but just the wheels turned and it rolled down the hill. While it was on fire, crossed the track, hit the barrier, came back across the track, hit the other side of the barrier, and then came to a stop and continued to burn.
That's actually hilarious.
What a weird scenario.
My car's on fire. I don't want to stay in the car. My car doesn't have an e-brake, so as soon as I get out, it's just going to roll down the hill. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't he have had his wheels turned?
I don't know. I'm sure when you're
hold on. That's a question on the road test about parking in a hill.
Right.
We should know this.
But when it's the Nürburgring 24 and it's on fire, you get out ASAP.
Well, yeah, I suppose that would work.
Yeah. I'm not thinking about what's going to happen to the car. I'm thinking about what's about to happen to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't want to be bacon. The car can be bacon. That's replaceable.
Fair.
You're not. Yeah. So weird scenario. A bunch of crashes. I saw in the highlights a bunch of Porsches have incidents. Just chaos. It's the Nürburgring 24. But that did end up having this Audi versus this Mercedes.
Which Audi was that?
I can't. What was the number? I don't remember off the top of my head.
It's the number 15.
Yeah.
The Audi Sport Team Phoenix.
Team Phoenix versus the Get Speed Mercedes, the number 3 car, which is the pink and white Mercedes.
I do like that livery.
Yeah. They got to battle to the end of the race, and it was a great battle to watch. You get the tire strategy. There was rain that happened at the end, which is always amazing because when it rains on that track, it's a 15-mile circuit, so you only get a little bit of rain.
Yep. You get rain
you have
here,
to sort it out.
but not there.
Right. And you get to sort it out. In the end, we had not the Mercedes, the Audi taking the win, which means that the Vanthors did win.
One of the Vantors, Dries.
One of them.
Along with Kellen Vanderlinde and Frederick, I'm going to try this, Vervich?
Vervich, I think is how you say it.
Vervich. And Robin Frigens.
Yeah. It was an amazing race, and it always will be, and it always is. I love watching this event.
That's such a good race to watch.
Yeah. You cannot go wrong with that. If you are a hardcore sports fan, I think that this is a must-go to.
Yeah. I want to go to the Nürburgring 24.
What would you rather go see? Le Mans or the Nürburgring 24?
Ooh. You know, That's a hard question to answer. Initially, my gut reaction says Le Mans because you can probably see more of the track.
Yes, you could.
It's a 15-mile circuit at
Yep.
Nürburgring, which means you're definitely not going to see all 15 miles of it.
No, but I don't think you're supposed to. I think you go there and you go to the circuit part, which is the actual, not the Nordschleifer, the Grand Prix track. And you go hang out around there, and then you go start to walk a little bit of the Nordschleifer, and that's what you do.
Okay.
Yeah. You could, I'm sure that people do, right? Rent a car, go drive it around the roads that are near there, and go check out the carousel, go check out the straightaway, go check out certain spots.
It's a good way to do it.
But tent it out or camp it out probably around the Grand Prix track. Because you're near the pits, you're near where most of the action is going to be, in a way, right? The checkered flag will fall there. Any cars that get brought back to the pits are going to be through there.
Good point.
Yep.
Maybe you camp it out, bring a pit bike with you.
Yeah.
And just go
something like that would be awesome.
Pit bike around the...
That's the way to do it. So you would choose the Nürburgring 24 over Le Mans?
I kind of think Le Mans, to be honest.
Really?
I think the 24 Le Mans, because the history, you have different kinds of cars, more that don't... I knew what you were going to say.
Excuse me?
But you've got hypercar,
mm-hmm.
as well as GT3 spec car.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they had hypercars racing the Nordschleife as well.
No, that's like saying the F1 cars are coming. No.
It's true. But I kind of think, and this is only by a hair, that I think I'd go Le Mans over the Nürburgring.
I'd go the N24 all day.
You didn't even have to think about that.
No. You're way more likely to meet a team or a driver and literally just hang out in the pits with them. Or
True.
Go have a beer with them. Or
Didn't
do whatever.
Think about that. True. One's going to have better beer.
Oh,
Nürburgring 24.
Much better beer.
Yeah. Nürburgring's going to have better
more.
beer. For sure. Maybe that changes my answer.
And I would want to see the Nordschleifer at night with these cars and the chaos that ensues. Because it will be chaos.
Oh, for sure.
Which is fantastic. And since I've watched enough Rolex 24s, I want to see craziness on the track, and it gets no more crazy.
Good point.
Le Mans would be tame compared to this.
True.
Even the fans.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. My answer, I want to do both.
I think that's the dream. That is the dream. So I think that's all the racing that we have. You got anything else?
Not in the racing world.
Nope. All right.
It's going to wrap us up then. Let's move on, and we're going to wrap this show up. So thanks so much for watching episode 72, right? Yeah, 72. So. Oh, my God, 72 episodes already. If you're on YouTube, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave us a thumbs up and a comment. Let us know, would you rather watch the attend live 24 Hours of Le Mans or the Nürburgring 24? Let us know on the comments here. And if you're listening on audio, Apple, Spotify, Google, please make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Don't forget to follow us on social. Facebook's We Are Auto, Instagram We're Auto _ YouTube is We Are Auto, and our website is weareauto.io. So that's going to wrap us up for episode 72, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.